Hi everybody, happy Tuesday. Welcome to the TRIBEvive, our guided meditation series. And this week we are talking about just meditation. We're going to talk about it a little bit more. I know we haven't really got into it. I know I told you guys it's simple and you can't do it wrong and just showing up is all that you need to do. But well, you know how I like to dive a little deeper. So today, this week, we're going to be talking about meditation. So, you know what we always do at the beginning of this thing here. I want you to like, share, subscribe. Literally take your button or your finger now and click the share button right now. And then also, I want you to let your mama, daddy, sister, brother, cousin, auntie and them to come on. So we trying to get as many people in here to learn about these goodies, learn about all this goodness that we are sharing on here today. And then I also want you guys to have somebody to be able to call and talk to when we're not on here, or, just a recap with, or, share your experiences. It's always nice to have a community worth of people that you can talk to about what you're going through, right? We don't want you to just be out there doing all this stuff by yourself. So find you an accountability partner. Okay? Even if your accountability partner don't always show up or you don't always show up, find somebody that you can have that can, make sure to push you a little further and you can push them a little further in your growth. All right. So let's get into it. I don't have no bunch of fancy terminology or anything to tell you guys about today. I'm just going to give you some examples of what I have noticed is different in my life since I started meditating. So, quick backstory. Okay. When I tell y'all, anybody who asks or will listen and we get on the topic, I am very, very much an open book. 99% of the times I tell things about my life because, it's so crazy because I was actually talking to my therapist about this today. And I was like, for me, it's very important to know that you're not alone in situations and in life. And so just sharing stuff, you find that you have so many commonalities with just random people. Okay, we're not going to say that you can sit down and share your most intimate details with some stranger and they're going to be able to honor what you're telling them. But just generally speaking, we have a lot more in common than we have that's not alike, right? And so that's kind of just how I practice my life. I kind of just show up, and if you ever got to talking to me for any amount of time, I'll be talking. But anyway, hence me being on here talking to myself. Okay, right? Because I'm talking to me, but anyway, okay. But I have been on the self-care, wellness, healthier life, growth, student of life path, my whole life. It wasn't that long ago. Let me not say that because it's been probably 10 years or so. When I would kid y'all not, I probably would have been at some fast food restaurant eating every day. Not every day maybe, but definitely drinking pop every day, if not more than once a day. My regular foods to junk food ratio was off. I don't know how many vegetables sis was eating. If you're drinking pop, that usually means that you're not drinking enough water, right? And I just slowly but surely started to make changes, just incremental changes, a little thing here, a little thing there, right? And then just over time, I realized, I was like, oh girl, you didn't came up, sis, look at you, got your glow on. But meditation was also kind of one of those things where it was I was introduced to it a bunch of different times. And it wasn't that it didn't stick. I just don't think that I was there, right? You aren't ready for things until you're ready. And so, not to say meditation is some big to do. It's just that I wasn't at the point in my life where I realized that I wanted to actively make those changes for myself. And I don't even, y'all know I hate to say the word change. I wasn't ready to implement that level of commitment to my whatever, okay? Y'all don't make me come up with the word right now. But I just wasn't ready for that yet, okay? Boil it down. Make it simple. I'm trying to make it too much. So I wasn't ready for that change, and so I wasn't ready to implement that in my life. So fast forward, a couple different times. It's so funny because when I was working for a hospital, And I won't name no names because I don't know how it works with liabilities and things of that nature. But anyway, I worked for a local hospital for 5 years in the mental health section of the hospital. And we actually had, like, they came in and did like a whole mindfulness wellness like crew, right? And they went and they trained like the employees separately to do it, and so that they could come and like implement it with the clients and with the staff and things like that, right? And it's so crazy because here I am now doing this with everybody, and it would have seemed like, oh yeah, Deandra would have been on that. Like, she would have been the first person over there, like, yeah, sign me up for the... I was not, y'all. I wasn't. Not because I didn't believe in self-care and wellness, but more so because I was busy. I was, like, working almost full-time and being a student. It was a whole lot, and I was like, y'all not about to give me nothing else to do. But I kind of kick myself now because I'm like, that would have been a great entry point for me to have, like, you know, just an entry point. Anyway, so after that, I think when I really, really started being serious about it, it's so funny because it was not that long ago. I had done it like off and on, but I never like stuck with it and was like, all right, we're going to do it this many days a week, or, you know, whatever. Hold myself accountable for like slacking off. My brother, my pretend brother, he was like, all right, sis, we about to get on these morning routines. He was doing a fast. Excuse me. He was doing a fast, and he was like, we about to get on this. You about to be my accountability partner. And I'm like, all right, cool. Let's do it. What we doing? So he like, yeah, I'm not eating carbs. I was like, I'm not going to eat carbs. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. So we had some of the same goals and some of the things we like, you know, we picked one, and, you know, he picked his own. I picked my own. And meditation was one of the ones that was on my list. And I was like, yo, I really want to start doing this because I understand the benefits of it, and now I have an accountability partner, and I'm giving myself a schedule of. And I mean, if you ever, y'all know I have my own business, so if you done ever read a book, listened to a seminar, caught a TED talk, watched the interview about any like of the greats, right? The greats saying like what they do and how they maintain. A lot of them talk about waking up very early in the morning. And a lot of them also talk about, like, having a ritual. The first thing you do when you wake up. I execute this, that. And I know we talked about last week about, like, breaking some of those habits and implementing some things, and how, you know, y'all know I like to say this all the time because I'm trying to remind y'all, right? Like, it's going to be concrete in your brain after I get through telling you 85 times that you practice something, it becomes a habit, and then you master it. And so, I mean, the routine is, I'm not going to say imperative, but it is very imperative that you are strict with yourself about things that you know you are doing for your wellness and to better yourself. So I'm like, all right, we about to add this meditation in. I'm going to do it every day. We did 5 days a week, and then we was off on the weekends, right? Just because it's new routine, you won't burn yourself out. So we did that. And I kid you not, I would say probably after the first week, I was noticing a difference, right? So here we are, right? Because y'all don't even know. I think I might have said this before, but you all are my accountability. It was too many syllables. Accountability partners, and getting on here every week and being able to hopefully find somebody who hasn't meditated before, or encourage somebody who is not implementing their meditation on a regular basis, or even just get somebody who's on here and has been meditating, and, you know, they need to find some other people that look like them to meditate with, you know. So hopefully I'm finding somebody like that. But you guys are my accountability partners for me to exercise my meditation. I ain't got no excuse. Excuse me, I don't got no excuse. That ain't what I mean. I can't call in. I ain't gonna say excuse because I can make an excuse if I want to. I can't call in because it's at 7 o'clock every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday that I'm on here with y'all. And so I'm using this as that also, but like I said, it's really my reach one, teach one platform. So it's, you know, it's me killing a lot of birds with one stone. I don't like that analogy necessarily because we ain't got to kill the birds, but you know what I'm talking about. So I said all that to say, let me come back to the point. The point was that is how I ended up like on my more consistent meditation practices, and then how we ended up here where I was like, you know what, we gonna get on the interwebs and we're going to let everybody else join in our consistent meditation practices. And so I have been doing this probably now, let's see, what's that like? 4 months, 3 months. It's hard for me with time, y'all. The Rona done sucked up my internal calendar. I'm in the Bermuda Triangle most of the days. I still know what day of the week it is. That's also a bonus of getting on here with you all, because I know what day of the week it is. But I would say it's been at least 3 months or somewhere around there of consistency with me in the meditation, my meditation journey. So I wanted to talk to you guys about some of the things that I have noticed since I started meditating. Okay. So, like, I know if you've been on here before, you know how I feel about Andy. And Andy will say, like, periodically, and I don't know if you guys always catch it because it's usually kind of before, but he'll talk about, like, you have to maintain your consistency. Like, you're not going to notice today after we do meditation. I'm not saying that you won't notice a difference. You're not going to notice the marketable difference until you practice it on some kind of regular basis. And it's just kind of like where you get, I'm about to sound real crazy, y'all. I should have thought of the words. Hold on, I'm trying not to sneeze. I should have thought of the words before we got on here so I wouldn't sound like wackadoodle. But, so like what happens kind of inside my mind. So like when we meditate, I'm gonna just keep it $100 with y'all. When we meditate, like, some days when Andy talking, I'm in the zone and all I hear is Andy and I'm able to do what Andy's saying. There are other days where I ain't heard nothing Andy said because I get on here and talk to y'all, and so my brain is usually spinning by the time we get to do a meditation, which is fine for me because, like I said, remember, you can't do meditation wrong, but I don't necessarily always listen to what Andy's telling me to do. Sometimes I'm just sitting there being with myself. And so it's like your ability to be able to kind of hone in that focus back when you're actually meditating, it becomes increased. So it's not that it's a challenge for me to listen to Andy. I'm just choosing to do my own thing while we're meditating, if that makes sense. It's not like I'm struggling to be able to listen. So if you've ever done any of the meditation with us and you have found it a little challenging to kind of like keep that focus and maintain that focus, or, you know, the breaths, count your breath. I like to say in and out. I hate counting. The count just doesn't work for me, right? And so you'll find, I've said this before, you'll find your own groove with the meditation, and you can go more with what works for you rather than exactly what Andy's saying, right? Andy's just there for people who don't want to do their own thing. They want to listen to Andy, right? But if you don't want to listen to Andy, you do your own thing. Only thing is that you meditate, and that's the only important part. So you'll find that that'll become easier. Like, I would say, everybody, of course, everybody's brain. I mean, like, everybody's brain is unique to themselves, but then it's all the same. But it shouldn't take you more than, like, consistently, if you're doing it with us for the week, the 3 days a week, it shouldn't take you more than about 2 weeks for you to actually really notice that your focus while meditating is going to be easier. Right? And I wouldn't even say 2 weeks. I'm just giving myself some buffer. I would say probably within the first week of doing it all 3 days, you're going to be able to notice that. And I mean, honey, if you ever been trying to do something and can't focus and realize how frustrating it is to not get your brain to listen to what your brain is telling. Now, you want to talk about something that sounds stupid. How does your brain not listen to your brain? But we've all been there, okay? So if you've ever noticed that, you can understand like how valuable it is to be able to actually focus in when you need to and when you want to, right? And then also to be able to let go, because that's the same thing. Like, you practice that muscle to be able to pick something up, but that muscle can also be practiced for you to be able to let something go. And so to be able to clear your mind also will be something that will increase over the time. So you'll notice the ability to focus more, and then the ability to kind of zoom out, right? Zoom in, zoom out. Also, emotions are in your brain, okay? I know you can feel them in your body, but that is a response to what your brain is doing. And if you've ever been emotionally unregulated, dysregulation, you know, go with what you want. You know how chaotic that can be. Like, it is not helpful for you, and that's why they say hindsight is 20/20. When we look back on a lot of things and we say, okay, like, maybe I could have done that a little differently. I went off on them people, or I snapped, or I was sad, or me. I know one of my big things is I have in the past. I tried to do better now because I'm aware of it. I have in the past not talked about what I'm feeling, right? And so then when I get done, I be like, dang, I should have said such and such. I know y'all I've been there. We be like, well, if I had just said, and not as a quip, always. Sometimes you be like, whoo, I could have got that little jab in there, and we could have kept it pushing. That's not what I mean. What I mean is um, actually saying how you feel so that the other person can know and respond to what you're feeling, right? But hold on, I'm multitasking and I forgot to share. Y'all know y'all gotta remind me to share every day because I'll never get on here and share. We've been on here for I don't know how long. Anyway, so that's one of the major things I have noticed that is helpful for me is being able to, I know we talked about like mindfulness practices and being able to take that pause and just kind of, take the beat and think about what you're doing and how you're actually feeling in the moment. And so also being able to use the meditation of the focus, right? So if you need to zoom in on it, and I love this, like y'all, the whole zoom in, zoom out thing just came to me. If you need to zoom in on something, right, because you really need to dive deep, you really need to be introspective in the moment, in your body with what's happening, there are times when we need to do that. We need to be fully aware of everything that's going on with us, right? Zooming in. But there are also times when, honey, you really need to zoom out. Like, it's probably a lot of times when you need to zoom out so that you can actually see, right? Think about it like if you zoomed out, like how the drone perspective looks completely different when you're like Google Maps on like of the earth and you're looking down at the grids rather than being on the ground looking at the house and the trees. Sometimes you need to zoom out to be able to see that perspective for what it fully is. And don't just pick one. You need to exercise between the both of them. But I have found that practicing meditation, because it is literally just exercising your brain. We'll talk about this more tomorrow about the specifics and logistics of what's going on up there and in there. But it's really just exercising your brain. So if you can understand how doing something like running a race, right? Y'all, I know if none of y'all run, you're not about to go out there and try to run no 5K marathon. You're not about to do that. You may go walk, usually 3K. You may go walk it, but you're not thinking you're about to go out there and run. You're definitely not thinking you're going to win it. And if you want to, what do? You go train, right? And you understand how that builds up your cardiovascular system, how it builds up the endurance for the muscles that you need to exercise while you're doing that. And meditation is the same kind of exercise for your brain. And so being able to do that allows me that like control over where I need to be when I'm having some emotional thing happening. So those are just two of the really super duper, like, not super duper, some of the like major things I have noticed that have been just like the notable things. Oh, one more thing I will tell y'all, because this happens to me on a pretty consistent basis. I know sometimes when we get off, I just am so like in the oozy goozy. I don't have no word for it. Kind of tingly. I'm trying to describe it to y'all, and it's just like it don't really make no sense because I'm not really able to put that into words. I have a physical feeling in my body, and I would say like calmness, centeredness, grounded, being grounded. Some of those things kind of would like put you in the mind of what it feels like for me physically when I get there. We talked about being in the zone, and we talked about like how sports people say that all the time, and if you've ever worked at anything that you're really gifted at, you know what it means to be in the zone with it. And it's kind of like that groove of meditation for me. So like after a while, you'll start to notice like you really have mastered being able to let that stress out of your body and to like get that blood flowing to your brain. And so all them things is firing where they need to be firing. And so like, look for some of them things, because like we said before, what was that, last week or the week before, we very much talked about how you have to be able to celebrate things. And I think that might have even been the first week, because I think Andy was one of the ones who talked about it and was saying like, it's not, new things are challenging. And they may not be so challenging that like you immediately give up, because there are some things that are so challenging. We like, I ain't finna do no more of this. This is stressful. But there are things that are challenging that will, if something comes up, right, then you'll find a way to not continue to do it. And so we need to make sure that we're acutely aware of all of the benefits that we're getting. So not just the like things Deandra's on here talking about, and she said I'm supposed to be less stressed because I'm meditating. I want you to actually be aware of how the changes are happening for you so that you can continue to come back. Okay? All right, so that was all of my TED Talk today. I don't have much and nothing else to say about it because everybody's relationship with meditation is going to be personal. And so I don't want you to think like, oh my God, if I haven't done anything that she says she notices when she meditates that I'm doing it wrong. Because y'all know my favorite thing to say on here is you cannot do this wrong. If you showed up, you did it right. So I don't want you to think like, get overwhelmed by like me telling you all the different things. But I think those are some of the bigger categories that you'll notice. So you'll notice the focus, you'll notice the physical, and then like even the emotional, being able to like, you know, be more present with yourself and have your emotions be where you want them to be at. So anyway, that was it. Okay, we kept it short and sweet today. Last time I was on here for an hour. Y'all ain't mean to be on here for no hour. We had a lot to talk about. So today we're going to keep it short. It ain't Friday, but we're going to act like it's Friday today. So anyway, all right, my loves, we're going to do a little bit of housekeeping for our meditation because we always want to act as if somebody is on here that's never been on here before. Y'all like, I don't know what accent that was. Anyway, if y'all not laughing with me, I'm not taking it personal. I was about to take it, but I don't take it personal, but I'm silly, so we will do silly things. If you don't know that, that's my disclaimer. And so I hope you can find some giggles in it, okay? If you get a kick and a giggle, okay, I'm in that thing. But anyway, so our housekeeping for all of our new timers or all of our folks that just didn't want to hold that in their brain and they need a reminder, we're going to do it again. All you need to do is be comfortable. You can do sitting or lying. Don't be standing up and have your eyes closed and fall over because you lost your balance. And then you just want your neck and your head straight, right? Keep your spine straight, right? And then other than that, like your arms, legs can be bent. If there's distractions in the room and you can limit them, like turn the TV off. If you can limit them, if you cannot, it's okay. If you get distracted, that's fine. Just try to bring yourself back once you notice you get distracted. All right? Piece of cake, piece of pie. All right, y'all. We about to start this Netflix series produced by Headspace. It's called, I think, Guide to Meditation. Every time, it's too many of the same titles, and I ain't got it. I want to say it's Guide to Meditation. But it's Netflix series. They have 8 episodes or so. If you have an opportunity to go listen to it outside of this, we're only going to listen to the meditation part. If you got an opportunity to go listen to it, I say this every time. Go listen to it because I love Andy. I love how he explains everything. And you can get your meditation on when we're not on here. Or you can rewatch the video. Rewatch the video. If you got a couple accounts, log on your other account and watch the video. Trying to get the analytics together. Anyway. All right, my loves. We're about to start as soon as I pull it up. All right, here we go. You ready? Okay, Andy done paused on me. He's hating.
You ready? Let's give it a go. We're going to start with the eyes open and a nice soft focus, just aware of the space around you. And with that soft focus with the eyes, we're going to take a couple of big, deep breaths, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. As you breathe in, notice how the lungs fill with air, the body expands. As you exhale, just noticing how the body softens as you breathe out. Just one more time, breathing in through the nose. And this time, as you breathe out through the mouth, if you'd like to, just gently closing the eyes. And just take a moment before you do anything else, just to appreciate and enjoy that feeling of having stopped. Of having nothing to do, nowhere to go. Notice the feeling of weight. The weight of the body pressing down against the seat or the floor beneath you. And take a moment as well just to notice your surroundings without looking around, just noticing the different sounds, not trying to shut them out, perhaps noticing any resistance towards them, just getting comfortable in that space. And use this opportunity as well just to notice how the body feels. Very often, we don't really take time to notice how the body feels. So is there a feeling of heaviness or lightness in the body? A sense of restlessness or stillness in the body? And as you bring your attention into the body, just starting to become more aware of that feeling, that movement of breath in the body. So you don't have to breathe in any special way. Just allow the body to do its own thing. Some people feel the movement of breath in their chest, their shoulders. For some it's in the diaphragm, and for some it's in the stomach. If you can't feel anything, any movement, just gently place your hand on your stomach so you can feel that rising and falling sensation. So just settling the mind. Again, thoughts are going to arise, the mind's going to wander. Just notice when the mind's wandered off and just gently come back to the breath. To begin with, we're just noticing the breath in a very general way. Perhaps starting to notice whether the breaths are long or short, deep or shallow. Again, we might find ourselves thinking either about the exercise or other things, just realizing when that's happened, letting those thoughts go and coming back to the breath again. And just to make it a little easier to focus on the breath, we're going to begin to count the breaths as they pass. So as you feel the rising sensation, counting 1. Falling sensation, 2. Just silently in the mind, then 3, then 4, just up to a count of 10. When you get to 10, you're going to stop and start again at 1. So remember, no effort required. The body knows how to breathe. Not getting involved in any thinking, just allowing the thoughts to come and go. And in those moments when you realize the mind's wandered off, just gently bringing the attention back to the breath again. So we'll just stay with that feeling, a rising and falling sensation, just for a few moments longer. And then just for a moment now, I'd like you to let go of any focus, even of the breath now. And for a few seconds, just allow your mind to do whatever it wants to do. So if it's been wanting to think, you can let it think now. Just allow the mind to do whatever it wants to do. And now just gently bringing the attention back to the body. Just coming back now to that feeling of weight, that feeling of contact against the seat or the floor beneath you. I was noticing the sounds around you again. And whenever you feel ready, you can just gently open your eyes again. But before you move, just take a moment to notice how you feel in your body and in your mind. The more often we do this after meditation, the more we're reminded of how much we need to pause in our life, to take.
Oh, I didn't know you had more to the sentence. All right. How is everybody feeling? I keep forgetting to ask you guys that before we start talking. How you guys feeling today? How you feeling after meditation? Typing it in the chat. I want us to all make sure that we're constantly reminded that to be in tune with ourselves. It ain't even nothing crazy. Just to be in tune. You here with you. How come you don't know what you feel like? You struggle answering that question. Then I want you to challenge yourself every day to wake up and say, how do I feel today and throughout the day? Okay. Anyway, I don't have any other homework for you besides that. That wasn't really even a homework assignment. That was just for kicks. But I hope you guys enjoyed learning a little bit about, some of the things that I have noticed have happened for me during my meditation, my practice of meditation. And then I hope that it encouraged you guys to continue to stick with it. I'll be here for you every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 7 o'clock. If you can't catch us then, catch us on the playback. We on the YouTube now. As soon as I get off, I'll put the YouTube links down in the chat. On Instagram, I said it was in the bio, but I didn't put it in the bio. So I'm going to do that too today. And then that's pretty much it. We'll be back tomorrow, 7 o'clock. And tomorrow we're going to be talking about, what is meditation? And how does it work? And what's the science? And I'm gonna give you. I might not give you some numbers. I don't know. If I find a number interesting, I'll give it to you. If not, we'll just talk about some things. But give you guys some more information so you could be out here in these streets with your chest puffed out talking about it because you know about it. So anyway, don't forget to share, like, subscribe, follow, visit us at blackамethystnaturals.com. Reach one, teach one. So call your mama, daddy, brother, cousin, sister. I'm out of order today. Cousin, sister, auntie, uncle, and them. Call all of them and tell them to come on here with you so we can have some more people so we can reach one, teach one. As always, my loves, I hope you have a great rest of your evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Self-love is the best love. All right, loves. Bye. Have a good night.